Welcome to episode 16, sweet 16 of the radio podcast. Today we interview Scott Hobson. Mr. Hobson from Australia.
That's cool. Hey yo, it's Shagun. I'm back again.
Shagun's back again.
Yeah.
Do you know Mr. Hobson?
Yeah, of course I do.
Did you know he was from Australia?
Yes, I did.
You didn't think he just talked funny?
No. I did my research and I was like, does he surf? And I'm like, how old is he?
What do you mean you did your research?
What? Everyone was like, hey.
You talked to him?
No.
What do you mean you did your research? You found him on Wikipedia?
I asked, yes, and I was like, does he surf? And I was like, oh, okay, how old is he? And because we were like, oh, is this a young teacher from Australia? And then, that'd be cool. But, yeah. And then, we saw him and we're like, oh, it's Mr. Hobson. And then I was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Nice.
I just wanted to know who he was.
So what's going on?
This week and next week is the spelling bee, our annual.
It's not a real spelling bee.
Yeah, it's the play.
Some people thought it was a real spelling bee, so Mr. Turpin had to go on the announcements and say it's not a spelling bee, it's a play.
Yeah, so everyone should come out to that. It's from...
What's it called?
The 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. That's a really long name.
That was a Broadway show.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a musical.
Yeah, that's cool.
I heard good things about it.
Oh.
Because it's on already.
Oh. Yeah, so tickets are $12. It's from March 1st to March 8th at 7 o'clock in the Patty Hillman Drama Studio at Delview. Everyone should be coming out because these people have worked so hard on this play.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'll be there next week.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, excited.
I painted the wall. No, I painted the doors specifically.
Yeah, the set.
Yeah, it's so
Which is
pretty.
the room is amazing.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rent-A-Grad is happening tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Miss Harnick rented me, and I'm really, really scared of what she's going to...
Oh, you don't have a list of things that you have to do yet?
She just told me that I'm going to be cleaning her car, so...
Inside and out?
I don't know. Who knows? And then there's going to be spring break, which is next week. Oh, we also have parent-teacher interviews, which are on Thursday. Mm-hmm. So book that. For the students that don't want to because they don't want to get in trouble from their parents, don't book it. And then after spring break, we're going to be having auditions for the Grad Coffee House. Everyone can join in. Even the teachers, we're doing it's not only singing, you could have comedy pieces, anything. Anything. So,
Hidden talents.
Any type of talents.
Cool.
Yeah, so, keep an eye out for that. There's going to be announcements on it. And after that, we're thinking of having a grad week where, every grad participates for what the G means or something like G for gangster. They can dress up as gangsters. We're going to plan out that. And then, of course, the coffee house will be in the end or the mid of April. And then we'll have the Fine Arts Night in May. There's also going to be the Famine from Midui and our Slip and Slide. Well, I wanted a carnival sort of thing now. I sort of gave the hint to Miss Kyle. Because there should be a pool, there should be a slip and slide, maybe a water fight or something.
Crocodiles.
Ooh, maybe not that.
I want to see crocodiles. Australian crocodiles.
Yeah, let's not do that. And then I don't know what's happening with We Are Love Festival. It's supposed to be in February.
Are they doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, February's over.
Yeah, which is...
So Famine next.
Yeah, let's have the Famine. And then there's also going to be Visaki from Global Village. They're going to have a whole DJ set out and the cafeteria, and there's going to be henna and all that cool stuff.
They have a DJ? Or are they just
It's going to be Bodge.
Oh, really?
Probably going to be Bodge or something, or someone's going to play the aux chord, and then Bodge will have his drum.
The what?
The aux chord. They're going to get an aux cord, plug it in. That's the DJ.
Oh, an aux cord.
Yeah. And then
I was is this some sort of instrument?
No. And then Bodge is going to bring out his drum and then go around the whole school playing it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We do lots of cool stuff here.
It's
always very lively.
Yes, it is.
So, what are your plans for spring break?
I'm going to be studying. I'm going to be getting a job. I'm going to be finding my heels, getting my prom dress fit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Finding your heels.
Yeah. Those are very important. Yeah. But that's going to be my spring break. I'm not going to Cuba.
Why don't you go for sneakers?
No. No.
I just think it's way more practical. It's comfortable.
No, I'm going to get like 6-inch heels.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to have fun with those.
You're going to be stuck in the mud.
No.
No.
They're going to be expensive. They're going to be great. They're going to be sparkly.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
Nope. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Nothing else planned right now, but maybe like later on.
Oh, isn't there a live at lunch?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Okay. I'm pretty sure there is one coming up. Very soon.
All right. Okay. Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Hobson is coming up. He has lots to say about Australia. Aussie.
All right.
You're supposed to say oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi.
Oi. I can't.
High five.
All right.
Justin keeping you?
No, I was eating Save on Food chicken that you actually throw. It's in the bag and you throw it into the oven. It cooks in the bag. It's $12. It's amazing. Barbecue chicken, Texas barbecue chicken flavored, man. I
That is great chicken.
Yeah, it's good
I can
stuff.
have the levels going.
Yeah.
Dude, do I need to sit further or closer away?
Further? Nope, that's fine.
I'll put a bit of an English accent on for you if you want it.
Don't mess with people.
I'll just start changing the accent like halfway through.
Oh, if you could do New Zealand, like a Kiwi accent, then that'd be...
I can't do that. We'll get some fashion chips.
Fashion chips?
Fashion chips.
I have no idea. I know very few people from New Zealand. I think...
It depends if you're...
One of my profs was from New Zealand. That's the only person I knew.
It depends if you're if you're like an islander, Maori, or if you're just like a Caucasian New Zealander. They have different accents.
Really?
Like the Maoris sound different, yeah.
I don't know.
But generally, I think the biggest difference between Australia and New Zealand is
Eyes and E's.
the I's and E's. So instead of saying fish, they'll say besh with an
Fush,
air.
right?
Instead of air, it's air. And then, like...
E's and I. It's like wit.
Yeah, so like
outside.
fish... We'll say fish and chips, and they'll say besh and chaps,
Yeah.
I think.
Fish and chips.
Yeah.
Fish.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
But I can't do a New Zealand accent. Yeah.
What other accents can you do?
Me and my brother's right out here in Canada. I know.
Is that American?
I don't know.
Is that American? It sounds American.
It sounds the same. Canadian, American.
No.
Give me the difference then. What's the difference?
John, you start.
I don't know. I think it's the intonations that are different.
Like, I guess it depends on where in Canada you're from, too.
Yeah.
From the east, like Newfies obviously have a special accent.
Yeah, you can't understand it, right?
What does that sound like?
Oh, I can't.
Oh, that's
no,
crazy.
Yeah.
I can't do
Hey, how you doing, bud? Stuff like that. It's like,
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta hear it.
I don't know.
Boat coming up there, right there, right? Like they sound like that, man. It's like
That's not bad.
It's like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. I obviously can tell the different accents in America. You know, down south and over, and what's the one, the Boston accent.
Yeah.
But then there's some Americans. It's like, I don't know if you're American or Canadian.
I can actually. I don't know. Strange, John. You can tell too, right?
Yeah.
Like I can tell, but I don't know what it is. But just the way they speak, I can tell. Even from Washington, I'm like, you are from the States. I can tell. I don't know why, but maybe it's just.
I think when you spent enough time in a place, then you get a sense of how they speak, right?
Well, you know, one thing that my friend told me that like that Canadians do that Americans don't do is like this raising. Like, you know, at the end of everything that we say, it goes up.
What's that? You say?
Yeah. So, for example, if I said like, you know, if I speak naturally, like when I say naturally, it kind of goes up like that.
Oh, the pitch.
Whereas Americans go down. So they'll say naturally. Whereas we'll say naturally, like it kind of goes up. So I'll go Canadian raising, and someone actually pointed out to me, and I was like, yeah, I guess I do that.
You know what you guys do as well? Like you say right out, oat.
Right out.
Instead of saying out, we say out. You be like oot,
like boot.
About?
That's like the stereotypical Canadian, right?
Actually, I saw that on South Park after I came here, and I noticed everyone was like, you know, working right out now, right out. I watching South Park, and the two Canadian characters,
Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah, there was some sort of joke, and they were just pinpointing that exact thing, and I never knew about it till I came here, and I'm like, that's one significant thing about Canadians is they pronounce that oot. I don't know, like right out though. You do it all the time.
I do?
Well, right about. Instead of saying right about.
Right about.
Right about.
Right about now? Yeah.
There's also sorry and sorry.
I say sorry.
Sorry?
I think sorry is more Canadian, right? Sorry.
I say sorry, yeah.
American is sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, like the clothing?
I was telling John when I was traveling, I could always like. Actually, no, that was personality. Accent wise, I think I could guess. Like when somebody's like had an accent, I'm like, "You're Canadian, aren't you?" They're like, "Yeah." I reckon 9 times out of 10, I could tell.
Really? What about their personalities though? When you say that?
I don't know if I should get into that. But I said Canadians had better personalities than Americans. I found.
How so?
Oh my god.
Now you're in it. What do you mean?
Well, Americans, I got along with Canadians, and it's not that I didn't get along with Americans. It's just they were just weird.
That's the exact words they used. Like, they're weird.
They're weird. Every single one of them had something crazy about them. It was just
small sample. Maybe it's just the people you're with.
Maybe, but it was like I'm not 80% of the Americans I've met. There was something not right. Seriously, like, and I'm not joking. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I can think of 3 specifically right now.
Was it what they were talking about?
It was just their personality. Like what they talked about, and they didn't. Yeah.
But did they get political on you?
I can't remember exactly. One guy was just really weird, and he stunk a lot as well. Like he didn't shower, so he had like super bad odor. And he was.
Okay, this is not my kind of traveling then.
But he was just really weird as well, just like his personality. Then there was just I don't know. It's just like you can just tell they're not Canadian. And then every Canadian I met was just chilled out, and it seemed like we got along. They had like a similar personality than Australians do. But then you hang out with an American, and not all of them. These are the ones I was traveling with were just weird personalities. It was kind of like I don't know. I should stop. Next topic.
I should say though, I've been to the States a lot, and
there's
lots of really friendly.
Yeah.
Like they're very open and friendly, and more open than a lot of different people because they'll actually come up to you and want to know your story and talk to you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, being an introvert, and that's kind of, to me, it's kind of shocking, but it's nice as well.
Yeah.
Like they're very open to helping you out. Right?
Yeah. Right out. There you go.
Out.
Helping out.
Are you recording right now or what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I never stopped recording.
Everything's recorded.
Dude, I've been recording you since you were home. You didn't know this.
That's creepy.
Yeah, a lot of Americans are great people as well. Yeah.
Good. Let's just end with that then.
Exactly. So is John co-hosting, or are we putting him on the pedestal as well?
He's co-hosting.
Yeah, co-hosting.
He'll jump in whenever he has something good to say.
And I'm kind of co-hosting as well. We're all co-hosting.
I'm gonna try to speak really slow too,
For the Australian.
Sorry.
for my pride's sake.
I see. After the last time.
I listened to it, and last time I tried to speak slower, and then I listened to myself in the recording, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm still talking so fast. So this time I'm going to try to speak unjohningly slow.
Oh, don't worry. I think I can change the speed on this recording anyway. Really? That's fine. So, let's go back to Australia. How about? Can you tell us, like, when you appeared at Delview, it was like partway into the beginning of the year, and like you're the first Australian we've ever had here. But I've known lots of Australians in these parts, especially on the ski hills. For some reason,
It's racist.
No, every time I go up there, I can hear it. They're everywhere on the in the snow.
I can hear it.
Yeah, they are. It's true. It's true.
So
Why not the slopes? Why the school?
well, like, what's your story?
Oh my god, where do we go? Let's go back a few years.
Let's go
when
back.
when I was in Serbia, and
You were in what?
I was planning on coming to Canada like two or 3 years ago. I think I was traveling Europe, and I got like a visa and everything, and then just some stuff happened, and I had to go back home. There's like health problems, and I never got to come here, and I was devastated. And I think I was planning on going. That's right. I was planning on going to Banff and like living there and doing a ski season there.
See?
It is a typical thing. My best friend came to Canada for like 4 seasons in a row, just to like, and he went to Sunny Peaks or something. What's that?
Sun Peaks.
Some peaks, yeah.
He did that. But yeah, and then I had to come home and didn't go back traveling again just due to my situation. And then I was traveling Southeast Asia last year, and I met my girlfriend now. Where was it?
On top of a volcano. Volcano.
It was random. Yeah, I met her like hiking this volcano, and then we kept in touch, and then she came to Australia for a bit, and then it was like, what are we going to do? So we got together. Mm-hmm. So then she came back to Canada, I think in March last year, and then February, March, and then we did like long distance for like 4 months, I think. And then I thought, I'll come do a year over there and see what it's like, and because I've always wanted to come here, and my job back home was ongoing, so I can get I could ask for a year off without pay, and then to do some traveling. So I came here for a year, and then that's pretty much how it happened. I think it's like 2 reasons: to check out Canada and like to pursue this sort of this relationship.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, back in Australia, where were you working before?
A place called Cranbourne, also known as Crime Burn.
Crime Burn?
Yeah. Think of, Surrey? Similar, I don't know. I've heard it's been compared to Surrey.
Oh, that's where you were working.
Yeah, the area. It was a school.
Okay.
Yeah, like a secondary school just like this.
Okay. It was a teaching gig, but a lot scarier.
I don't know, kind of. There's a lot of fights at the school.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just teaching. I wasn't teaching as much music, though, as I am here, which wasn't as good over there. I was teaching a lot of humanities. You guys got social studies, geography, history.
My neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, and music. It was good. Just different system. Who was I talking to this morning in collab day? I was telling like Jessica and Jason and I just talking about how it's so different, the differences between the school system in Australia and Canada.
What are some of those differences you've noticed?
The main one, I feel like it's more laid back here, which is good. Like less, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like you had to do a lot of non-teaching related work at the school.
Like paperwork?
Yeah, it was more like admin, so I felt like more of an administrator than a teacher, and like a behaviour management you're dealing with behaviour all the time, and you can barely teach the kids that want to teach because there's a lot of disrespect at that school that I was working at. Other schools are fine, but that school's like a really rough area, and yeah, it was just like it was a lot of meetings, like 3 after like hour meetings a week at the school.
Wow.
If you don't have a meeting, you had to stay at school till 4:40 to, cover the government hours that you're supposed to be working. Like, it was just like a lot of rules and regulations, and it didn't have much freedom. Had to make sure you were teaching exactly what every other teacher was teaching. So here it seems, maybe it's just because my department, music and planning, I was teaching it by myself, and I wasn't teaching with any other teachers. So I kind of like had a framework to work with, but I could do what I want. I didn't have to kind of go to the upper, I don't have to see Julie to say, is it okay if I teach this music? I can do what I want.
Well, I think it's similar here in the academics as well. I mean,
I know. I'm sure it will be in social studies and math.
When we talk about scope and sequence, and what the kids should know and what level they should be at after they leave, or before they leave. But besides that, we kind of do our own things. Yeah,
I don't know. It was just a bit of an eye opener. Like coming here was, first of all, coming into the school was just a completely different setup than back in Australia. You guys have like one big building. Mm-hmm. Like at my old school, we had like 5 buildings, and
5.
Yeah, maybe more. My high school, we had like 10 buildings. It's like a university. They're like more like universities. You go to one building, and have to walk across the yard in the pouring rain to get to the next class. Where here, it's like I saw the school from outside, and to me, it just looked tiny. I'm like, that's a high school? It looks like there's like one room in there.
No, I had the same feeling when I first started here. Yeah. I drove by, actually. I thought, where's the school?
Yeah. And then you come in, and it's just like, holy crap, this looks like every school you see on a TV show. Uh-huh. There's a similar layout. I was watching Mr. D. You seen Mr. D?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, no.
Funny.
I've heard it's pretty funny, though, eh?
I watched it last night, and there's drinking fountains in that show. The exact same drinking fountains here. And I was like...
Yeah, I wouldn't drink out of those.
Yeah, no, the drinking fountain.
I wouldn't drink out of those.
Not even the tap. Not even like
the one that says filtered, which is not filtered. I sometimes would, but I usually bring my water from home.
I need more than one water bottle a day. So
it's good Canadian water.
Yeah. So I don't know. Where we at? The school, one big building.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good. I like it. It's different. There's more stat holidays. There's more time for teachers to prepare here. Mm-hmm. Back home, it's like, any free time you have after school, you got to go to a meeting. You got to go to 3 meetings a week after school in one.
And they were staff meetings?
Like you'd have, it would be pedagogy meetings. So like
oh wow.
For example, it always changed. It was either a whole school staff meeting. It would be a year level team meeting. So we were broken up into year levels, like a year 7 team, year 8 team. It was more like a, how do they say it? I don't know. But like we had an office where all the year 7 teachers that taught mostly year 7s, there was a team of teachers, and we had all the year 7s in that area. Then another building had like the grade 8s, 9s. It was kind of like separated. And then, so you'd have a year 7 team meeting, then you might have, your arts department meeting the next night, and then you might have a whole school meeting the next night. Or it was either 2 or 3 a night, 2 or 3 a week after school, and then you'd have one morning briefing every week. And it was just like no time to plan or prep. And you didn't, like you have an office, like you have your office, I have my office, we have our own space. In the old school, it was like going into a room, say like 3-4 times the size of this room, and then office, like desks all around. So you're in a room with 15 other teachers trying to plan. It's like being in a lunchroom trying to plan at lunchtime.
Right.
You got so-and-so wanting to talk to you, he needs help, she needs help. Then you got kids coming in at lunchtime for detention, and kids coming in for questions all the time. If it was hard to get some time to...
You're juggling more, hey?
Yeah, it was just all this other stuff going on all the time. You didn't get any time to sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to do some planning. Here, in this school, it's like I can just, in my prep block, no one interrupts me because I don't have 10 other teachers with a prep block right next to me. So I like that. I find I can get stuff done. I'm not as stressed out working here, which is good.
So you've made it this far. What's it like living in Australia? Because you always hear about all these things that can kill you.
spiders and
Yeah.
like jellyfish and stuff like that, right?
They're
Little kittens.
kittens.
Venomous kittens, I hear.
Puppies. Golden retriever puppies.
I don't know. Where I live, there's not that much. Like,
Where did you live?
I live in Melbourne. Melbourne down south. So
I do have to interject here because I remember you sent me on Facebook a little link the other day when you said there's like a shark that was like swimming near like right where you lived.
Yeah.
So I guess that can kill you, right? Like a shark.
yeah, it could kill me.
He's just so used to that stuff. It's nothing, right?
What's funny about that is I watched that thing properly, the full thing last night, and so where I live, it's like a bay. It's not where the wave. There's no wave. Like I live in this. Yeah, there's no waves. It's like a little inlet bay. There are surf beaches that are like an hour drive away, and there's there could be sharks all out there. But where the bay is, I've always been told when I grew up, there's never any sharks there. Never be worried about sharks. And then there's been like 3 sharks in the last week there, and they're not big great whites, but they're still probably, the one I showed you was maybe like 3/4 the length of this table.
Which can do some damage,
Yeah.
right? It can bite you.
And it was literally like
bleed.
a meter from shore. The person was filming it, and someone was walking from the camera, and it was like a meter away. So, but then there's only been one fatal shark attack in 30 years in my state.
Okay.
Whereas you go over to Perth, and there's somebody eaten by a shark every week in summer.
Oh my gosh.
And that's like not a joke. You hear?
Really?
Yeah, man. I'd be before I came here, the week before I came here, there was 2 people eaten by a shark in 1 week.
Oh my goodness.
It's just like Perth, down near Sydney and Byron Bay, Queensland. It's pretty much everywhere else around Australia besides our area is super bad for sharks.
South Australia's okay too?
No, South Australia is bad.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's always shark attacks.
Is that right beside Victoria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just like something about Victoria. There's not many shark attacks. But, yeah. In terms of spiders and snakes, there's spiders everywhere. Snakes more up north, I think near Queensland. But there's a lot of bad stuff. Like up in Darwin, there's a lot of crocodiles, and Cairns, there's a lot of crocodiles there.
Big spiders and stuff like that. I was in Cairns, I remember, and they told me there's like this like muddy water, and I remember thinking to myself like, hey, I'm gonna go out there and have a little wander by the bay.
No.
And then I was about to walk on, and then some guy came over and literally grabbed me. He's like, hey, you can't go out there, the water is, mate, there's a bunch of crocodiles there. So the guys, he told me that, and he's like, you can't go out there because the crocodiles, when the water goes out, they actually go where the mud is, and they just like lay flat and just kind of like stretch themselves out and like bask in, because they're cold-blooded, right? So they bask in the sun. So he said you might not be able to see them, but their eyes will open up and they'll just like open their mouths and just kind of snap at you. And,
Too bad.
Another dumb tourist saved.
yeah.
I heard something on the radio. Yeah, on the radio, another one. It was just like a kid taken by crocodile. Headlines. Just taken. Like, that's it. Just never came back. Crocodile took him.
It's like Krampus, right?
I don't think...
When I was in Cairns, I went there last, 2 years ago or whatever, and we're just like getting a taxi going to like some wakeboard park or whatever. And there was just signs everywhere, just like, beware crocodiles here. And it was just like tall grass. Apparently they're just everywhere in Cairns. I was shocked to see that. And it was...
Tall grass and just crocodiles everywhere.
Yeah, just signs like beware crocodiles here or something like that. I saw a shark once when I was surfing.
Oh, yeah?
In Queensland, though, a beach called Danger Beach.
Why would you go to Danger Beach?
Yeah, I know. It was fun, though.
We warned you.
It just swam away, but...
It just swam away.
Yeah, it was scary.
So how close did you get to it?
I would say maybe like 20 meters. Okay. I saw it swimming through the wave. I didn't see the fin or anything. I just saw the outline of the shark. The swell was coming.
Oh, that's so scary.
And I saw the outline of this thing. And, people say, oh, it would have just been a dolphin. I'm like, well, I can tell the difference between a dolphin fin and a shark fin. So I just, like, swam back in and just went sunbaking.
Plus, dolphins like to play.
Yeah.
Chew your leg off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's not bad. Everyone says that, like, oh, Australia, all the most dangerous animals are from there. Really?
I think like for
there's bad stuff everywhere. You guys got bears.
Yeah, I think it's like for
you got spiders. They got spiders everywhere here.
For like visitors, it's just like a different type of I guess you could say situation. Like I told you a couple times. I don't know if I told you, John, but actually, sorry, Mr. Kung. But when I was okay, that's okay. Where, John? So when I was down there, I told you how I was there for like maybe 2.5 months. 2 to 2.5 months. It was
in
around
Australia.
There. Yeah, I just backpacked it when I was younger. I drove up in a camper van, and a couple of things happened. I remember with animals that I never really. Like what Scott was saying here, we do have bears and cougars here, but again, they're well away from I guess all the areas that we go to. Like they're in the forest. Mm-hmm. Mind you, not the right story if you live in Poco or Port Louis,
parts.
But where it kind of blends the city. But in Australia, I told Scott here a couple of really funny stories. Actually, me and my friends were in Noosa. It's like a city right in Queensland, so that's where it seems like all the deadly animals there. That's like the capital city of the province of where they all come from. But jellyfish. We were on canoes and just kayaking. So we're kayaking in the bay, and then my friends I was on the boat still, kind of like just relaxing and sunbathing, and then my friends they're pretty much just in the water like waist deep, and all of a sudden I saw my one friend like fall in the water, and the other friend started like he was jumping up on one leg and bouncing on the other leg. So I thought to myself, like, what is going on here? So I paddled over and I was like, Steve, Brad, what are you guys doing? And then they started yelling at me, there's stingrays down below. So they didn't know, but they stepped on a stingray and this massive thing moved under his foot. So he looked down and there was like a family, like 10 or 15 stingrays, like really big stingrays, like humongous, just like moving around the mud. So they were just jumping around because they didn't want to step on the next one. So
stingrays. We have stingrays at the bay. Not like right near where I live.
They're big.
They're big. There's like big ones.
They're like this big. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Another one, I was in Cape Tribulation and I was at a hut, just like sleeping in a cabin, and I heard this like really weird noise outside. And so I turned the lights on. I stepped outside, and I kid you not, this massive scare beetle just like flew right into my face and like hit the ground.
A what?
Like a beetle. It's like flying beetle. It's like hit me. It happened twice.
Size of your fist.
Like. Yeah, it was like that big, yeah. So it was northern Queensland, so we're talking about Cape Tribulation. It gets quite tropical up there.
Yeah.
So it hit me in the face and kind of like flew in. That didn't really bother me, but I heard this hissing noise, so I turned the head. I think you know what I'm talking about. They're like these massive dragon things there.
Dragonflies?
No, they're like lizards that are like they're like that big.
Oh, what are they called again?
Yeah, but they start with a K, but there's
Komodo dragon?
Komodo dragon.
No.
Korean dragon? No.
Korean dragon.
It was something, but it was something something kind of big monitor, but it was humongous, and I just saw it, and it kind of like came towards me, so I like shut the door and then like walked up the stairs and sort of like scratched at the door, and I was pretty much just behind the door going like, okay, this is kind of weird, so I kind of like knocked on it, and then it kind of like went away, but for me those experiences don't happen here, right? Like.
No. Oh, that's exciting though.
Yeah. It was exciting.
You don't die.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of snakes. Like my auntie lives in Queensland, and she said she had a brown snake just sitting on her like doormat one morning, and it's like a deadly snake. Yeah. Just curled up on her, like open the door to leave, and it's just sitting there. And shit. Yeah, they reckon there's always it's just warmer weather up there. It's warm, it's humid, and it's they just live up there.
So you can't say that Australia is not more dangerous in terms of the flora and fauna than here. There's no way.
I never said it wasn't less dangerous.
We have spiders, but they're tiny and you can squash them. And you're not worried about them killing you, unless it's like a black widow.
Yeah, which actually I was going to say, John, you're wrong with that, because in Australia we have these things called redbacks that are also tiny, but wasn't it like one bite can kill like 10 babies or something? It's like something. It's got enough venom to kill 10 babies. Yeah,
they're cool. You see them. It's got like a bright red dot on it.
That big.
They're not that. They're bigger. They're probably like that.
Okay.
Okay.
But they're bad. Like once I was just like lying on bed and I saw this, those white tip spiders.
White tip.
It's like a white tip. It's got like
terrifying.
It's got like it's like a tiny little spider. But it's got like a little tail thing, and it's like got a white dot on it. They're like deadly. And I was just lying in bed one night, and I just like saw it crawling on
Any spider with a tail, I'm just like 100 meters away from.
Yeah.
I don't like spiders.
I don't like them either. There's something about them that kind of creep me out.
Spiders, snakes.
I don't mind snakes, but spiders
I don't like snakes.
creep me out.
Oh, talk with Byron Bay.
Yeah.
I saw a photo on Facebook last night of like it's on the way to this it's a typical, there's a big lighthouse in the point of Byron Bay and everyone walks up there. It's a touristy thing you do. Apparently there's a photo of a massive python hanging from a tree with a possum. It swallowed a possum, and the possum's like the size of a cat. So like half the possum is in it. It's just a humongous, looks like a anaconda. And it's like this tree that like I remember taking a photo exactly under this tree. Like I know exactly where it was, and I showed it.
The good thing is its mouth is so stuffed it can't get you. So
man,
you just walk right by.
Imagine you saw that thing just hanging with a bloody possum.
Yeah.
Come
to Australia.
Taking a detour, right?
Exactly.
Take the detour.
So yeah, it's pretty dangerous, I guess. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. But you grew up there, so you're used to all that.
Exactly.
And you survived.
I just get scared of like surfing. I hate it, man.
Really?
Just you're out there and like you don't know what's underneath you. You just try not to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the movies, Jaws.
The Shallows?
Dun, dun.
It's a new movie called Shallows.
No.
It's about this like woman who is about to quit med school, and then she actually escapes and goes to Mexico and goes surfing, and the shark just nips her, and then she's like stranded on a rock.
Oh,
and,
she's
like,
stuck there.
Yeah, and the shark's like surrounding her and like kind of like waiting for her to.
You've seen Sharknado?
Yes.
It's so bad.
So dumb.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Sharks in a tornado. Sharknado. What was it? Sharknado?
Sharknado, yeah. I think, what's her name? Tara Reid's in it, I think.
So bad.
She's like the main character. And
I think it was just popular because it's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. It's so bad.
So you were born in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And raised in Melbourne, went to school in Melbourne.
Yep.
So what was it like growing up there? What kind of stuff did you occupy your time with?
Growing up there. Wintertime, I was playing footy, so like Australian rules football.
And I guess wintertime for you be summer for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, just in wintertime, like you just play footy growing up, and summertime, try to go to the beaches as much as possible. There's a few like holiday destination places like with better beaches down like in Mornington Peninsula. It's a nice little area. Growing up, I don't know. How old am I? 27? What was I doing? I don't know. I have no idea. Just playing sports. I think I played like every sport there was to a degree. Then I started, that's right, then I got into music and then I stopped playing sport. That's what happened.
When did you get into music?
That's right.
How did that
my brother played bass when he was like 13. So like he was always in bands when he went to high school. And then I'd always pick up his guitar and have a play of it. And then when I was 13, I got my own guitar and started learning it. And then I just that's all I did. Just play guitar and
take off, eh?
Yeah. And then I continued playing football. And then I think I got like 16, 17. I think I stopped it. I just couldn't do it anymore. And then
you couldn't do footy anymore?
I think I just quit. I just gave up. I was just like, it's too hard on the body. And now I'm playing it again. So it's just like it's sore all the time, and just a lot of people like. A lot of people like to try to get in fights with you when you're playing footy, and I got sick of that. It's just like they try to, there's a lot you got to play with everyone, and like a lot of them are very physical, and I didn't like the altercations I got put in. So
there are lots of fights in footy.
Yeah,
wow,
just like fist fights. But
is that part
I'm
of
not
the
a
Aussie
person,
rules?
so I try to avoid that. Anyway,
That's right.
That was a few things that guys couldn't be bothered doing. It was just a big commitment, all day Saturday, and then you just saw all day Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it was just too much. I think I was just busy doing my music, and I didn't have time for it anymore. Yeah, so
for your music, did you have a band, like your own band, or was it through high school programs?
Yeah, there was multiple bands that I was in high school. Like, I think our first band was maybe like when I was in grade 8. Did my first musical performance when I was in grade 7. Nothing Else Matters.
Oh, yeah.
With
Metallica.
and Nothing Else Matters in front of 1,300 people. It was pretty nerve-wracking.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's the biggest performance to date. It was my first performance. Yeah, it was massive. It was me and like my good friend. We just did like a guitar duo. It was for a talent contest.
Kind of
Wow.
like a fine arts night, I guess, right?
That's pretty huge.
Kind of, yeah. It was just like people got up and did like a talent and like, yeah, it was pretty cool. And then like, yeah, did like little school gigs. And then when I was about 15, started a, I don't know, heavy metal band, I guess. It was pretty fun. It got a bit of a following. We used to call ourselves metalcore.
Metalcore.
That was the style.
That sounds like a color of paint or something. doesn't it?
Metalcore.
Metalcore.
The band was called Murder She Wrote, like the TV show.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was pretty fun though, because that was good. We had a bit of a following. All the gigs we were playing. It was that was the scene that was kind of like really big at that point, I think. And yeah, that was fun playing gigs, local shows, and supported some bigger bands. And
then you said you got into reggae, right?
no, that came later.
That came later.
Well, after that, then I quit the band when I was about 18 because I was getting into jazz, and I realised that just like I was overplaying the metal. And then then I studied music, got like heavily into like playing jazz music.
So jazz guitar.
Yeah.
Did you? I guess you had to have Did you get a different guitar for that?
What did I have? I was playing an Ibanez in high school, and then I got this thing called a Levison Blade. Do you know that?
No.
It's like, neither do I. I bought it off of one of my guitar techs, and like a guy fixed my guitars, and yeah, that was cool. And I had that for a bit. So I was playing my Levison Blade when I went to university. Then I bought a Fender Strat, 57 reissue, I think it was. Then I bought like a jazz, like a 335 copy, an Epiphone copy of a Gibson, like jazz guitar, and that kind of like got me through my jazz stuff. And then I bought a PRS. Do you know PRS? Paul Reed Smith. Classic guitars, very expensive.
Yeah.
I got that one actually in New York when I went there. It's a sweet guitar.
Cool.
Do you know how much they are in Australia?
No.
Like $8,000, like $7,000 or $8,000.
8,000 Canadian.
Yeah. So it's like I can't buy that here. So I knew I could get it cheaper in the States. So I went to New York, and I think I spent like cost like $3,600.
Wow.
For this guitar. It's so nice. Paul Reed Smith.
Nice.
Yeah. So then when I was in high school, I met university. I met this guy the singer, and we joined a band and played with my brother because he plays bass, so he played in the band for a bit, and it was kind of like a funk band, I guess, like Red Hot Chili Peppers style. Then it kind of like ventured into. We wrote a reggae song, and we thought, well, this song's a lot better. The style's a lot better, so we just turned to a reggae band. It was good, and then that developed into like a horn section, and that was pretty fun. It's called the Moon Project. That one.
The Moon Project.
Dub reggae.
Can we find any of this stuff online?
I don't remember. Like that band, we split up like 4 years ago.
Did you ever post anything?
I think so. I don't know. Can you put it on this?
I can try.
I don't know if it's. To be honest, I don't think it's online anymore. I have it on my computer, but it's pretty cool.
What was it calling it?
Do you sing in it?
No, I don't. It's called the Moon Project, but I don't think we ever. For some reason, I don't think we ever did put it. We're going to put it on iTunes, and then it just never happened.
Anything more specific? Because if I look for Moon Project,
No, the Moon Project.
The Moon Project.
There might be some like YouTube videos, maybe. But there's a lot of stuff that show
Moon
up. That's what I mean.
projects.
It's like. But that was cool. That was fun. And then that was 4 years ago or something. And then what happened? We split up, I think, because I kept on traveling. That's right. I kept on going overseas, and they got a fill-in guitarist. And then I said I was going over again, and I think everyone just kind of said like, it's not really progressing as we wanted. So let's just call it quits. Just kind of sad because it was nice. And then before I came here, I was playing in another band called the Funk Affair. It was like a funk soul disco cover band.
So you went from metal to jazz to reggae.
Metal,
funk,
jazz, reggae, funk, disco, yeah.
Disco.
It was disco. It was pretty much a disco band. It was like a 70s disco band. It was sweet.
Wow.
So what was your favorite genre, would you say, if you must choose one? Scott.
Man, see, that's, I don't... favorite genre of music or
to play.
Oh man, I don't know. I just like jazz and just improvising and jamming and
You like jazz, eh?
jazz is nice. Jazz, Latin, funk. It all sort of depends on what I'm doing. You know, I like playing a lot of folk finger picking music. You heard of Tommy Emmanuel?
Tommy Emmanuel?
Tommy Emmanuel.
Tommy Emmanuel.
He's like one of the best guitarists in the world. Australian, actually from from where I grew up, that area.
Really?
His fingerstyle picking, it's so good. So good. So when I came here in Canada like last June, I was just busking downtown. I was just like playing a lot of like instrumental finger picking songs, just to make some money and just to try it. I hadn't done it much in Australia, so I thought, I don't have a job right now. I may as well just go do some busking, and that was kind of fun.
Downtown Vancouver.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Robson, you said, right?
Yeah, I did Hobson Street.
Did you make a lot of money? I always wondered, like...
I don't know. It wasn't that much. It was varied. I had to try at different times to see what the best was, but
right.
I think the best I made was in Gastown on a Saturday. It was like 2 hours, and I think it was around $70 or $80. But
good,
that's
right?
not usually. It would usually be 2 hours for like $40 if you're lucky.
So what kind of people normally, like? I mean, you obviously tested out the market at different times, different people. Yeah. What did you figure out from that?
Everyone gives money, like every different like category of people. Homeless people will give me money.
Wow.
Like you could tell, like people like from like downtown east side, like you could tell they like, lived in shelters and didn't like live in like they were given some money every now and then you get the. It just depends. A lot of people walk past. You have times when you won't get any money for like 15 minutes, and it's kind of like really disheartening. And you're like, I'm just going to go home. And then one person puts some money in, and that it just comes in waves. But
Right.
yeah, it's not. It's frustrating when you get people who sit there and just watch you for like 5 minutes and then just walk off. It's like, come on, if you're going to watch and at least tip me. I'm trying to like get something out of this. And you got people who come and take photos of you, and then just walk off. It's like, come on.
No, that's not good.
Like if you're gonna, and a lot of those were tourists.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was fun. It's kind of good to like build up your confidence as well, because getting out in the middle of the street, setting up an amp, and just not saying anything and not introducing yourself and just start playing, it's kind of exposing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice,
There's tons of street performers on. I mean, they come from all walks of life, but you see tons of really, really talented people out there, and then that's one thing. Like you learn like who the people are, who's listening to your music, who's interested.
Yeah.
You learn a lot of things from doing that, I think.
Yeah. It's
and building the confidence, like you said.
Yeah, it was fun though, just sitting out in the street, and it's funny. You'd always have a bunch of not a bunch, but you'd have random homeless people walk past, look into your case, and that they're just thinking, oh, I just want that. I want that money. But like they don't do it because it's like it's kind of rude to go up to somebody who's busking and say, can I have some of your money? There's one Gastown, this one guy did it, and I'm just like,
he took your money.
Well, he's like, oh, can I have a loonie for a coffee? And I'm just sitting there playing my song going, I can't say no, because this was the day I had like $70, $80. I can't say no, but like, really, don't do that.
Yeah. It's
kind of rude. But I felt bad. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Just don't take the $2 one. And that same spot as well, I had some person pretty much just like overdosing on heroin on the bench next to me. Oh, he was just sitting there with like a coffee flask thing, just sitting there, just slouched over. I'm like, I had to move because I'm like, this is kind of weird. This, people going up to him and making sure he was okay. I think he was just zoned, like, just out of it. He probably just, had his hit and was just sitting there, but it was kind of weird.
Do you, we have certain parts of downtown where there's an obvious homeless situation, and obviously people on drugs walking around. Is that similar, like where you come from? Like, what's the
downtown east side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah. That was unique to see that. My girlfriend actually works there, like in the heart of downtown Eastside.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, she's a social worker, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's unique. Like, just, like, you're driving, it's all good, and then out of nowhere, it's like, bam.
Yeah.
You're like in a whole new world with, like, hundreds of just, homeless drug addicts on the street, and it's just like an eye-opener, hey? It's different. But no, in Melbourne, we don't have a significant, like a specific area where they all go to. Mm-hmm. Definitely have like some homeless and, a few drug addicts, but it's nothing like that. Hey, it's different. And then but they have all the hotels down there, and like it's all in that one spot. Everything to help support them is all there.
Right.
All the housing for them, all the injection sites are there. All like the drug overdose prevention sites are there. It's all in that one spot, so it makes sense that they just sort of go there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's different, hey?
So,
it's unique.
How did you get into teaching?
How did I get into teaching? I started teaching guitar when I was like 16. So yeah, I don't even know how I started doing that, but because I could play pretty decently at like after a couple of years and. Yeah, so I started getting some students and, sort of, I think by the time I was 18, I had like 30 or 35 students.
Wow.
So I had a good, that's how I was making my money for like 4 or 5 years. Just my home run
that's
business.
A decent amount of students.
Yeah.
Just for guitar lessons.
Yeah, so I was just doing that. I liked that. My mum was a teacher. So I guess I had that influence. And then I did my music course, and it's, what can you do with a music course? You can't really get much. There's no jobs that come out of doing a Bachelor of Music. Mm-hmm. There's, you could, try to get gigs and stuff. That's what they aim to give you is try to get gigs. But I thought, if I can just do a diploma of education for a year after this, and then. Then I can teach, and I like teaching as well because I was teaching guitar for a while and I liked doing that. I thought, why don't I just try this in a classroom setting? Yeah.
So you got into an education program at like the local university?
Yeah, so I did like a Bachelor of Music in Melbourne, and that was like 3 years, and then you just have to do a Diploma of Education, which is 1 year.
Oh, okay.
After. So, I went to another university. I had the option of doing a Diploma of Education or I think it was a Master's. The Master's was 2 years and the Diploma was 1 year.
Okay.
So, I think it was the last year or the second last year they were offering the Diploma. So, I just did that. Did that for 1 year. And then I did some, we call it emergency teaching back home, or CRT, casual relief teaching. It's different. You guys call it TTOC.
Okay.
You call it TTOC, like teacher on call. We call it casual relief teaching. Uh-huh. And you guys call it sub teaching. We call it emergency teachers.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a cool name. I'm an emergency teacher. I come in when the emergency happens.
Yeah, so...
and I clean up the mess.
Yeah, it's so I did that, and then I was doing a bit of sub teaching for a bit, and then travelled. Then I came back and did some sub teaching. And I travelled again, and then I got like a part-time teaching job. Actually, it was really hard to get a teaching job when I think about it. It was super hard just because I only designated in music, where other people had music and science and music and English and.
But you ended up teaching humanities.
Yeah, so my first ever teaching job, I was teaching 5 subjects. It was music, drama, RE, so religious education. Mm-hmm. Like social studies and English.
Okay.
Yeah. So they get you.
So it's because of that experience that you were able to take on similar jobs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that gave me some experience doing that, and then I got my next job, and that was teaching essentially planning, music, and I think it was just planning and music. I think from memory. Yeah, no, it was. And then the next year they threw in some social studies and. Essentially planning, social studies and music, and then coming here, I taught marketing, which was interesting. Marketing and planning and music. So it's good though to teach those other subjects because it's given me the experience teaching those other subjects without having to go back to university to study.
Right.
To teach, I actually considered going back. Should I go back and study to get so I'm qualified to teach, say, social studies? But the cost was just like ridiculous to go back just to do those subjects. Like my debt is so big from doing my music course and the teaching thing. Like to do more, I just thought it wasn't worth it.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, do you have a lot of family back home?
Got my mum, my brother. My dad, he passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had cancer and stuff. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, that was
cancer. Jeez,
yeah,
it gets everybody.
Yeah, lung cancer. So that was that was. I think that was why I came home from the Europe trip for the second time. That's right. I was supposed to go to Canada, and then I came home. There was problems amongst with that as well. So
yeah,
it's really good that I didn't go to Canada because I had to come home and help Mum sort of take care of him. But yeah, my brother lives back home, and my mum, and then auntie and uncles and stuff like that. But I've got a lot of relatives in England, and I've got some relatives in America as well. So yeah.
So you've done, you keep talking about traveling. You've been, how many places have you been to? It seems like quite a lot from what you talk about in the staff room when we talk about traveling. You're like, yeah, I've been there. And
yeah, I guess first places I went to were Indonesia because it's close by. So I've done Indonesia, I think 4 or 5 times, Thailand, most of Europe. I haven't been up to the Scandinavia or anything like that. But I've done most of all Eastern Europe, Central Europe, and Spain and Portugal. I've done the States a few times now. I've done Canada. I went to Japan as well. That was interesting. I'll come back to that story if we have time. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. States, Canada, Europe, Japan, Thailand, Indonesia. I feel like that's
what happened in Japan?
Yeah.
No, you made me curious.
Oh,
I've always wanted to go because my wife is Japanese.
Okay, yeah.
I'm we have to go one of these days, right? Maybe when the kids are a little bit older. But it's just such a different world.
Yeah, well, I didn't see much of it because I essentially went for a snowboarding trip, and I had it
That was your first snowboarding trip?
No, it was we snowboarded in Australia quite a bit. There's mountains there, but it's not as good, obviously, as here. It was nothing like here. But yeah, I just had an injury, a stack where I pretty much just crashed into a tree and hit my leg, and I thought I broke my leg, but I'd just torn all the ligaments off my knee. So it was a real bad accident, and that was 3 days into the 10-day snowboarding trip, and then a week in Tokyo after. So I got in a cast and just had to fly home.
Oh,
it actually happened on New Year's Eve as well. New Year's Eve. I was so disappointed.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty scary though, because I hit a tree and we were off piste, off the track, and I was snowboarding with 2 of my friends, and we were going real far, quite fast, and they were in front of me. So when I stacked, they didn't even know till they got to the bottom of the mountain. And I stacked, and there was no one around, and I was up waist deep in fresh powder with a snapped in half leg. It was hard. It was. I thought if I'd hit my head, I would have died. It was really bad.
Right.
And I was crawling back onto the track, clipping in and just snowboarding down 3 black runs just on my heels. I had to do it because I'm not going to scream out. There's no one to scream out for. I had to get down the mountain.
You still went down?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
With 75% of my MCL was torn and 25% of my ACL. So my knee, I could feel my knee just popping out. My knee was popping out. I'm what's going on here? I'm just sitting on this right heel.
Do you think he made it worse just by going down?
I was gonna say, so you didn't need help, right?
Oh, I guess. Yeah, it was so awkward.
I know.
Yeah, so that was bad. So I had to go home, and then so I didn't get to go to Tokyo, and it was just it was kind of disappointing.
Well, one day you'll go back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my girlfriend, she's Japanese as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's half Japanese. Her dad was Japanese, so. Yeah, I don't think... She's been, I think.
Has she been?
Yeah,
Cool.
she went... I think she went for her father's funeral.
Oh, okay.
Because he was in... Yeah. But it's in... Who else has a Japanese...
Celio and
Cecilia, that's right.
John
Cecilia,
and Cecilia.
I was like, I know somebody else who said they had a Japanese wife. There you go. Small world.
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah, totally want to go. It's so... Because you hear about it and you see it on TV or...
I'm going.
He's gone.
This summer I'm going.
He's gone.
No way.
I told you in the lunchroom, didn't I? Or... Remember, I had this conversation with you, and you literally
Maybe
said,
I totally just forgot.
Yeah, I looked at you in the lunchroom, and you're like, oh, that's so cool, you're going to Japan. I was like, yesterday?
Oh, okay. No, sometimes I forget who I'm talking to. No, really, there's so many conversations.
See, I'm going, I'm actually really excited to go. Well, my family and my parents it's their 30th anniversary, I think, in Asia and Korea.
Oh, right, you did tell me that.
Yeah.
30th anniversary. I remember that now.
It's a big deal. So they said they're going to go to Korea. You know, I've been to Korea twice before, and you know, it definitely is, I guess, where my parents are from, so I do like going there. But I thought to myself this time, my girlfriend really wanted to go to Japan as well. Like that's the one country I've always wanted to go, like, you know, because we in Canada here, especially in Vancouver, we're surrounded by a lot of, like, I guess you could say Japanese culture, especially in Richmond, as you know, John, you know, when it comes to Steveston and, you know, that population there. So I was always want to check it. It always intrigued me. So I thought to myself, hey, it's only across the strait of Japan. I wonder how much the flight is, and it's only $120. So I told myself, you know, I'm done. Might as well go.
$120.
I know, you've got to look on
From
your
Seoul,
face.
from Seoul,
From Korea?
from Seoul, yeah.
Oh, from Seoul. Okay.
Seoul to,
120 from here?
No way.
What?
Seoul to Osaka. That's the deal. So I'm gonna go there, and then I thought it'd be on the cheap. Like, I guess you could say, I know it was very expensive. I thought the yen dropped in value a bit, but I was sadly mistaken. I saw the prices, and it's like I'm gonna be spending around $120 a day. But you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, I don't really. You guys probably see me. I don't spend money on things. I spend money on like experiences and meeting people and relationships and on others. So I think it's going to be a one heck of a time. Can't wait.
I got Guatemala next Thursday as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's a week, eh? That's crazy, man.
Central America. I wish I could stay for longer. Well, today's Wednesday. Pretty much a week.
I just talked to a guy from Guatemala.
Guatemala, or he went there? Or
He lives there. Well, okay. So my Wi-Fi router broke down at home. So I called TELUS.
Was that what you... What? Your what broke down?
Wi-Fi router.
Oh, they said your wife broke down. Yeah, we got a big phone. She just like broke down. Right up.
No, she does not break down. She breaks me down. No, my Wi-Fi router broke down, and you don't say Wi-Fi in Australia, do you?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Nobody says that.
That's just weird.
Wi-Fi.
So I called TELUS, and this guy answered, and he's walking me through it, and everything was working out. And then he started talking about Guatemala. I'm like, "Are you in Guatemala?" He's like, "Yeah. You know, these call centers are everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
I've gotten people from India." So I was like, I started talking to him. I talked to him for like half an hour about Guatemala and what it's like there, and
That's so cool.
Cuba.
That's
Anyways.
pretty cool. He would have been, he must have been, it's sweet. Don't have to talk about my work for a while, just chat, and I still look like I'm doing my job.
Yeah. He's wasting company time.
Yeah. Not a good thing.
But you're educated about life in Canada, so
That's right.
there you go.
Yeah, that I did. Yeah. And he also prefers Canadians to Americans for some reason.
Does he? Yeah.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
I think, that goes. It's a universal thing.
It's a universal thing. That's why there's a flag on your backpack, right?
Yeah. Actually, when I went traveling, for my first 2 trips to Australia and to Costa Rica, I actually put a Canadian flag on my backpack. Mm-hmm. That backpack actually got cut. Someone stole the camera and decided to throw it away. But when...
I thought they cut the flag off.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They stole the flag. It was that valuable.
I wish. No, it is that valuable. But I was going to say, when I had this American couple actually asked me one time, they were very dead serious, and I had a sense that they were very offended by the fact that I had one. So they asked me, like, do you honestly wear them because
What?
you don't want to be seen as American? And I was like, no, I just wear because I'm proud of being Canadian. They're like, but is it because you don't want people to think that because you sound like us, because you're embarrassed that you could be from America?
Seriously?
I swear.
From the most flag-waving people on earth?
Yeah, I promise. I'm not lying. This.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is exactly in Costa Rica. We're in the
15
forest.
American flags every street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was like, no,
That's
I just
interesting.
very proud of being Canadian. I didn't.
But a lot of Americans put Canadian flags in
Yeah,
their backpacks. too.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
just because they don't want. Yeah, because of
Yeah, I mean,
America.
it was neat because I do have a Canadian flag in my backpack. So when we went to France, you get a lot of people coming up to us and going. Well, we went to this particular part of France called Cannes.
Is that where the music festival is? Or?
No, not the Cannes Film Festival. We're in Normandy somewhere, and people would come up to us and talk about Canadians because of the war, and you see a lot of memorials to Canadians there. In Cuba, I wore a Canadian flag, and Cubans would come and talk to me, and some of them spoke French to me. I was like, sorry,
Can't speak French.
sorry, French not so good.
Yeah.
But then they would switch to English. It was amazing. But yeah, it's helped me out in my travels.
That's good. You know what's interesting and ignorant on my part is like I didn't know there was like a whole French Canada until like 3 years ago when I was traveling when I met French Canadian people.
Oh, yeah?
It blew my mind.
Oh really?
What? There's a French Canada? French Canadian people? And yeah, I was just never knew that.
So you went to Quebec?
No, I just like met people from Quebec.
Oh, okay.
traveling. And they're like, oh yeah, from Montreal, and like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've personally got a very soft spot for Quebec and French Canadian culture and like those people. Yeah, when I went the first time for travel was over there, and like yeah, they definitely wanted me over. I love it. Yeah, yeah, definitely a very friendly, hospitable, relaxed. Might I say, dare I say, fun-loving people for sure. Very fun-loving people.
And Quebec, like Quebec City is beautiful. Montreal is such a terrific city.
I love Montreal. It's so
It's
good.
probably one of my favorite cities in Canada.
Amazing
Yeah.
food.
Oh, yeah,
Amazing food,
for
man.
sure.
The food's crazy good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny when you land in Quebec, it says "Welcome to Quebec." There's like no Canadiana anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
It's just not, they don't treat themselves as like Canada. I think they're like,
Well, they've wanted to separate from Canada for a while, right? So
yeah, okay, yeah. Interesting.
So there's some history there to look into, Hobson.
History lesson.
I can teach you. Don't worry about it.
Yes, give me a history lesson.
Yeah. Are like in Australia, are there like can you tell when somebody's from a different part of Australia? Are there like certain types of
Accents?
culture, certain accents?
Yeah. I never used to think so, but now I do notice it.
Do you?
Yeah, they're not big. It's not like, it's not like hearing the different American accents. Or like, you hear somebody from California and then you hear someone in Boston and you hear someone in, like, Georgia. It's like so different. But I think up north is more of a redneck, as you guys like to call it, vibe, accent. It's a more of a yobbo, as we like to say, like, accent.
Yobo.
Yeah, like an annoying Australian accent.
Okay.
Um,
And what does that sound like?
I don't
You get an accent trick. Yeah.
know. Well, I'll swear. I don't know. You do it.
I don't know what that sounds like.
All right.
Oh yes, give me another. No, I don't know. Just listen to it. Like it's.
So it's like Australian Cockney.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. It's just it's a bit different, but it's very subtle. I would say Adelaide, Melbourne is very similar because they're close. But yeah, up Queensland, it's a bit more. If you like Google like a typical Australian bogan or typical like Queensland bogan and hear them talk, you'll hear it
What's bogan?
like a redneck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess
There's actually a Simpsons, old school Simpsons episode. Remember when the Simpsons go to Australia?
You think this is a fork? What does he say there?
Yeah, you remember when they go to the what's it called? The kid rides his bike and goes to the Prime Minister's
that's right, yeah.
house, and he goes, "Prime Minister, something happened." He's like, I think he's like in his swim trunks, like he's got like he's got like a bottle of water or something in his hand. He's just like just floating in his tub, and he kind of puts his hand up and goes like, "What's the good one, mate?" I think that's kind of like what you're.
Yeah. But yeah, no, accents, culture-wise, it's pretty similar. I was talking to John, like we have football, we have rugby in Australian rules football, and rugby's more popular in like New South Wales and Queensland, which is like the East Coast, and then AFL, so like Australian football is more common in like Victoria, South Australia, and Perth, WA. So like that culture's different, like the sporting and what people follow is different, and that's definitely a big part of the culture in sports anyway. It's definitely a lot of a better music scene, like live music scene in Melbourne than say any other city. I would say, I don't know, maybe not, maybe. And then like, yeah, I don't know. Like in Melbourne, there's not surf beaches everywhere. In like Sydney and up the east, like New South Wales and Queensland, they're all on the coast. It's every single bit of water you go to, there's waves. But when you get to Melbourne, it's like a bay, so it's not surf beaches everywhere.
Yeah.
So you have to drive out like an hour or an hour and a half to find surf beaches if you live in like where I live. Mm-hmm. So the culture-wise is different. Like a lot of people in New South Wales and Queensland, like everybody would probably be a really good surfer. You come to Melbourne, it's not like that. So it's more like music orientated. It's a bit more
interesting.
There's a bit more cultural diversity.
Cosmopolitan.
Like Melbourne's been voted the most livable city in the world like 7 years in a row now.
Really?
Yeah. Beat Vancouver.
We keep beating Vancouver. Vancouver's always there. Like,
it's like two or three.
Australia's here. I think it was 7 years in a row now.
Okay.
At that point, I don't think it really makes that much of a difference.
No.
Right?
But it's like they obviously they take into account various different factors. But yeah, it's like Melbourne's so expensive to live in. So is Vancouver.
So is Vancouver.
But then like Melbourne has all the major sporting events in Australia, like the Grand Prix.
Is it a boat race or is that racing?
The car race. That's like Formula One.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Formula One. We've got the Australian Tennis Open. So the Tennis Open's there. We've got the AFL Grand Final. That's like the Super Bowl. There's all the golf tournaments are in Melbourne, like in the suburb I live. I've actually worked at that golf course.
Nice.
And they have something else. They just have a lot of sporting events. They have the Rip Curl Pro, which is a surf event down in Torquay, Bells Beach.
I've heard of
Point
Bells
Break.
Beach,
Point Break, the last beach he goes to on Point Break.
Oh, with Bodie, right?
Yeah, Bodie.
Yeah.
No way. Was he like, he's going to paddle to New Zealand or something. He's not coming back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Torquay. That's like one of the surf beaches we would go to. And that's where they have like the Rip Curl Pro. It's like the pro surf comp. So there's a lot of sporting events in Melbourne. So I think that would, it's got a big sport culture as well.
Sounds like a cool place to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff there.
So what are your plans for the future? Like you've been around, you're here now.
Yeah.
Any idea?
Sure. I'm thinking I might stay till next June.
Uh-huh.
I was waiting to see what was going on because my girlfriend she's got into like a university course, do a Masters of Social Work. So she just found out she got in. So
good, congratulations.
I'll pass it on to her.
Mm-hmm.
Our plans are probably to stay in Canada until next June, and then we'll probably go to Australia for a year, and then flip a coin, I guess. I don't know. Figure it out then. Trying to plan. So like right now, I'm just probably stay for another year, and then just sort of go with the flow.
That's amazing. Like I've been in one place pretty much all my life, and to talk to you, it's really interesting where you've traveled so much and done so many different things. Really interesting.
It's good. I like staying out of Australia.
Yeah,
just because it's the same thing. It's just the same. It's good coming here and seeing this. This is a completely different place.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to seem normal because I've been here now for 8 months. So it's like, first time I came here when I walked from the bus to here one day and just like walking past these houses and just seeing like massive Canadian bloody pine trees, and I just love it. Oh, pine trees. Yeah, so different. You go down a street in Melbourne, and it's just completely different.
Do you have palm trees, don't you?
Different. Yeah, but then that's more up in Queensland.
I really like palm trees.
Yeah,
so do
it's
I.
very tropical, like Australia, and like
You feel happy, right?
yeah.
Well, maybe that's just because that reminds us of
Holiday
being a
destination.
tourist, right?
Tropical, yeah.
Of going somewhere else. Whereas for you, I guess it'd be pine trees.
Yeah.
I look at pine
I'm looking
trees.
at it right now. It's
I mean,
like-
I like pine trees, but
Oh, I love it.
I just see it.
Christmas
I
tree,
see it
big
every day.
Christmas tree.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that was a pine tree.
I don't even know if that is one.
That's a pine tree, yeah.
It is. It looks like
Yeah,
one. Tree.
that's
Which
a
is-
lodgepole pine.
Yeah, and just the architecture here as well. That the way the houses are designed and the buildings and construction is here is so different to back home. Like, we don't have 3-story houses. We don't have houses with basement suites. Every floor in Australia is like like the floor in the house will be level with the grass. That's the floor. None of the houses go below the ground. We don't have.
Why is that? Wouldn't it be? I mean, basements are nice.
Actually, we're a little bit
because-
above ground. We don't have basements in Australia either. We don't have basements. We have it's weird.
Attics.
If we have anything, it'll be an attic. But like to be honest, actually, the house is on like stilts, so the house might be like this high off the ground.
All the houses are in stilts.
No, it's not like they're on just like 4 stilts. It's kind of there's a concrete slab that gets laid down, and then the frame is built on the concrete slab, and the concrete slab is in line with the grass or the driveway. Or it's not like, you know how you got basement suites here and it goes down like a meter or something. I don't know.
Right.
We don't have that.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was different, and then like, you know, so and the architecture in general, like the way shops are designed, is just so different to back home. Yeah.
What is Christmas like in Australia?
Warm.
Well, yeah.
It's super hot. Like the last Christmas I had in Australia was 40 degrees.
I mean, like in terms of the celebration of Christmas, because you experienced it here.
Seems like we have all the, you know, they like put the Christmas lights out, and so it's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, it's just a different vibe because obviously, you know, it's like it's not cold and snowy, and it's more just like summery. Everyone's on holiday because it's our summer break, so it's just more like barbecues.
Like shrimp on the barbie. That's what I heard.
No, shrimp on the barbie. I've never actually ever put a shrimp on the barbie. I put steaks, you know, whatever, sausages.
But you can put shrimp on the Barbie.
You can put anything on the barbie.
So totally like Christmas. I feel like shrimp on the barbie. That's the it's by the beach.
But yeah, generally, I don't know. People just go to beaches, go camping. A lot of people go away for Christmas and New Year's and do like a camping trip or something like that. But yeah, last year I was there. It was hot. It was 40 degrees, and we couldn't even sit outside.
Wow,
because it was so hot. It was cool being here because I think it was snowing over Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so it was nice having like a white Christmas.
Yeah.
The snow is pretty sweet. I like it. I like it being in this like the suburban area. I'm used to just snow being up in the mountains. So like actually having a snow in the streets actually really cool.
Driving you to work, we're coming here together. Remember that time when it was like, I think 2 days ago it was floating. The snow was floating into the windshield, and you were like mesmerized. You're like, this is like amazing. Can't believe the snow just coming out. The suburbs right now.
I just love it. It's just floating in the air.
Meanwhile, we're like, I hope it doesn't snow again. We have to drive out here. It's ridiculous.
I love it. It's fun.
I was gonna say, John, remember I told you like my car was skidding out because of the snow? I found out why. I told Scott this in the lunch.
Bare tires.
I had negative 2%, so the wire was showing because it was so bald underneath the rubber.
Oh my goodness! Got to check those.
Yeah, that's not good, man.
So I went to the mechanic. I told him, I was like, "What's the? Do you have any tread there?" He's like, "I was like, what percentage of my tread?" He's like, "What do you mean? What percentage of tread? You have no tread. Look at it, it's smooth."
Yeah. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I just got new tires at $1,000.
Do you do this podcast thing every week?
No, just whenever.
Okay.
A special person.
It's just for special people.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's an honor, man.
All right. Well, we'll tie it up. Thanks,
Mr.
Aussie.
All right.
I was going to say, I guess this is going to conclude This is going to conclude. Hold on a second. I gotta do one thing. I'm thinking this for a while. This will conclude, I suppose, Mr. Hobson's interview. So I kind of wanted to end with a song here. So
You have that ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Man at work, yeah.
Well, you must know all the lyrics to this, right?
No, I'm actually really bad at lyrics.
This is not your national anthem?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Strange lady, she made me nervous.
You know all the lyrics.
I do.
You practiced last night. That's why I'm so tired. All right. Thanks, Hobson.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Goodbye, W. For now.